can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you lie down. Yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make we shout. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come, man of the masses. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo, my ego die the politico. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo, this one not they off in mind. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo, person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make you shout. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come, man of the masses. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun diary politico. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. I think I should be playing that anthem from every broadcast now to remind us Yorubas who we are.
Godfather is in, go see Lord of Mayegun diary.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are joining from. Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them, Mayegun today. Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. It is going to be a very kind of interesting night. And I'm also going to open the line. Just make sure you share the broadcast. Please. They have started again. 21 days ultimatum has been given to Tifnumbu by a group called Northern Consensus Movement. They kind of always change names, but they are the same guys. 21 days, or they will block food supply to southern Nigeria. Isn't that war? Because the Igbos, the Yorubas, they would not let the Fulani terrorists continue to roam our forest, kidnapping our women, raping them, collecting ransom on Yoruba soil. So tonight, the Nigeria judiciary has also come to justice again. Mutide, sorry for the late start, and thank you for joining me again tonight from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live, and I'm sort of thankful to those of you who have shared the broadcast before you fully settle down to start reacting. Thank you. And if you haven't really done that, please do like the broadcasts, subscribe to my channel, make us bigger. I was wondering what the scenario was going to be like when I saw a clip of a group of people carrying a banner of Northern Consensus Movement. And they are not Miyetti Allah. Do you get that? And they came out to sort of protest what they call the injustice. I mean, if I see injustice, I will normally sympathize, empathize, and even offer my support to this group of people. We know the hidden motive behind their alleged injustice, and therefore it is misleading. Not only misleading, it is also dangerous. But they are not stupid. They know what they are doing. I think it was the last year. Was it last year or about 2 years ago? When a group of northern youth under a different banner came out to ban the movement of food from northern Nigeria to southern Nigeria. But it didn't work because they realized that southern Nigeria can actually live, survive without any food from northern Nigeria. Seriously. They started running at loss. The food they were bringing down to the south were because of the commercial opportunities of those, movement of food. They are mostly perishable food. Farm food that can get spoiled if they are not kept under a certain condition. They get rotten. So it was a lost battle. But I remember the drama around it at the time. Now, they were at the time, they were protesting the resolution of the southern governors that came out to ban open grazing and movement of cows by foot. So it became a crime to move your cows in any part of southern Nigeria at the time. So they protested that. But there is actually something that led to that. When supposed herdsmen became kidnappers, became local terrorists, ravaging villages, the insecurity under Boko Haram and the free hand that these Fulani terrorists had, and the death, blood that followed them, prompted that too. And to them, stopping the movement of cows through people's farms or staying in the forest, you will be treated as a terrorist. So this group of guys came out and they said they were banning the movement of food because if the southern Nigeria failed to lift that ban. You remember that, do you? But that declaration of war on the southern Nigeria by these few misguided, maybe not misguided, here you get, but this few group of delusional northerners, they call themselves, they went on to put a blockade. And when you block trade or you block food supply from one region or one country to another, it is like a sanction. It is declaration of war. Inside one country, a group of educated terrorists from northern Nigeria emboldened to challenge supposed constituted authority of a part of Nigeria that decided to clamp down on the armed Fulani herdsmen. That is how they put it in the media. Armed Fulani. No, they are armed Fulani terrorists because their actions are not grazing. Initially, when this whole thing started, they were attacking farmers. They were destroying farms. That automatically affected the food production in southern Nigeria, in many parts of southern Nigeria, and further contributed to the poverty that later enveloped Nigeria to this day. That was how it all started. They improved to attacking people, kidnapping them for ransom across southern Nigeria. Fulani terrorists. These are acts of terrorism. In case if you don't know and you have forgotten, events like this prompted the ban on the movement of cows. This was about 2-3 years ago. These guys blockade food from northern Nigeria to the south, but there is a myth that that action eventually demystified. I mean, who won't ban the terrorists who entered the land of people's lands and their communities as herdsmen, but ended up as this, where people ended up as refugees in another country. A quick reminder before we get on to it today.
Due to that crisis, Fulani crisis that was occurred at our country, that's the reason why we migrated to this place. We are forcefully migrated to this place due to that. By force. By force. It's not by willingness. Women. Man or women. How much are us, man or women? Only you. Only you. Dying here. Both the women and men migrated from that area to this.
No.
And
How
then
much?
people died.
But I say how many people they killed there?
Okay.
Yeah.
They have seen many people. But that our many people. Many people have lost their lives. Many people have lost their lives.
People are still migrating because of that. At Modudu and all other areas.
What happened?
What happened? It's because of the Fulani crisis. Fulani, they are killing the people anyhow.
They are killing the people.
Anyhow. They will move from any village, from one village to another. They will migrate from one place to another. They just keep people. That's the reason why the people are scared. They move down to the
Women, children, those people were the refugees in another neighboring country. These people have no border. They do not share. We do not share border with northern Nigeria. Ogun State. The distance between Ogun State and the nearest northern border, Niger State, which is actually the north and central anyway. Yeah, Niger State is about 600 to 800 kilometers, as some will know. But yet, the terrorists migrated from everywhere they brought them from. And they ended up in the deeper south, close to the ocean, terrorizing the people. And in case if some of you still remember, because Stockholm Syndrome is a big thing in Nigeria anyway, but yeah, it was so bad that the political class in southern Nigeria couldn't ignore anymore. So they had to issue a ban. So this guy, Blockade. Fulanis don't grow food in commercial quantity in Nigeria. The real people that grow food, that mostly get migrated to the southern part of Nigeria are the Middle Beltans. And they have been the people who have been the most affected by these jihadists and their terrorism in the last 12 years. The Middle Belt, if you look at Nigeria map, and they are right there in the middle. They are the biggest in Nigeria by land space. However, the Sharia North, that hardly grows anything per se, or in commercial quantity enough to even feed themselves. Talk less of feeding any other part of Nigeria. The dry land, that at least if they indeed invested in the land, for the people of the land to benefit from it, that would have been another story. The criminals who have used religion to hoodwink their own people for so long, they continue for political conveniency. Tells you northern Nigeria is bigger than southern Nigeria, because they can easily claim places called the North Central just for the numbers of people there, not because they have any respect for the indigenous people that make up those places. Remember that? Or you don't? For us in southern Nigeria, the terrorism that we later suffered so deep towards the end of Boko Haram's, inglorious terroristic government, the Middle Belt part of Nigeria, they have been burying their loved ones that have been slaughtered needlessly, unprovoked by these jihadists for years before they finally crossed down the border. deeper into the heartland of the southern Nigeria, into the eastern part, down to the creeks. The terrorism touched every part. But when people reacted, they quickly said the reaction was an attack on northern Nigeria. How? How is that an attack? That people says they have the right to defend themselves and they have every right to stand up and ensure that such right is never taken away from them. How is that an attack on northern Nigeria? Because for those who knows very well, okay, you see that Boko Haram. Now, put it this way. You have APC, Egbekegbe. Now, inside APC, Egbekegbe, you know there is the amalgamation of strange bedfellows. The jihadist arm are that of the CPC, where Boko Haram and his gang came from. The progenitors for the terrorists in Nigeria. Dig that, okay? Now, them coming together, they have others who are tribal, and ethnic jingoisti. Talk about a xenophobic APC. Those ones are from Lagos and some other part of southern Nigeria. But you shall get. So it is the fusion. I've been at the infusion, shall be fusion of all of these that make up APC. Egbekegbe abi. Meanwhile, in that, they have different categories, or maybe not categories. Let's say they have different branches. Maybe branches, kind of. That will work. Branches. You see the armed branch of APC, Egbekegbe. Those are the Nigerian army, Nigeria police, Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists, ISWAP 1, ISWAP 2, shall you get? And those are the armed wings of APC, not branches, wings. That's one wing. They have the propaganda wing. Then they have the RCCG wing. That one is the prayer warrior or prayer pastorpreneur kind of a wing of that. And they also have, what is these people called? Jibuis. These people that brought terrorism to Nigeria at the time, conflict for jihad. What's their name again? I can't really dig that right now. But you know the people I'm talking about. Those ones who have ensured that when it comes to every sector that really matter in Nigeria, they have their sympathizers who are their members as part of that. And that is why you will never enter Islamic terrorism and jihadism and their sympathizers in Nigerian system. Now, that's just a little bit of digression onto the side. It was under them that for the first time in my own lifetime, I saw terrorists who actually have spoke people. So you see this middle belt, they have started to realize that despite the fact that they are victims of ethnic cleansing hidden behind religious cleansing, most of them who are like Christians, they've realized that all of the attacks that they have suffered, they have been attacks from jihadists who consider them as infidels. So how can you continue to say one big north, erasing the identities of the people of the Middle Belt? Here you get, erasing their identity when it is politically convenient. But when it now comes to their real affairs and their identity, you want them to exist and never to be seen. They are dying in the hands of your young people, armed people who are killing them because they are infidels. And yet, you could not use all the power that you have acquired the power you acquired because you continue to claim one big north, one big north. Yet, this middle belt is part of your one big north. What exactly is the benefit of being part of one big north other than for political advantage of criminals, chancers? Under Bokuari, the middle belters started distancing themselves because they have been the ones who have suffered most. Seriously, especially in the hands of these Fulani terrorists. But yet they are not protected. And to their faces, they are telling them that they should be grateful that they are part of Sharia North. And they are telling them we are not Sharia. We are not this, your idea of a religious North and kind of, here you get, under Bokuari. And today, it is one of the manifestations that Nigeria is living on a borrowed time. Here you understand now. The fake union, one Nigeria, is a ruse. Everybody is laying their hands on whatever they can get out of the place right now, that it is still officially existing before it will cease to exist, because blood will flow in such an environment where, in case if you don't know, you are on your own. So, these Fulanis that we know in Nigeria, they don't grow food. They are not farmers. They are adders. Abi, which means they deal in cows and cow meat. And southern Nigeria eats lots of cow, of course. I mean, if you know the number, it simply means southern Nigeria is where the market for that their cows is. Abi? Now, the idea down south of Nigeria is that there is nothing wrong in being a artsman. Here you get. But in this day and time, nobody should be killing people because they wanted to graze cows. Do you understand? Like, you are even losing a lot commercially. Like, you are losing so much reward where you are roaming your cows all over the place. If you put your cow in ranch, there's so much you can gain. There's so much you can make. And it is even safe. A lot of the Fulani adders in Nigeria, they are also victims of a constant cattle rustling. Cattle rustling is when armed group of people attacks a Fulani and his herds. They kill the Fulani, take all his cows and his herds. Because Fulani moves from everywhere, they say, yeah, this is 2023. If you have Fulanis who have enjoyed being in power in Nigeria, and they have never really seen the danger of Fulani moving cows from everywhere, if there is no agenda, if there's nothing hidden that this is all about, Fulanis who have gained access to power and wealth in Nigeria, many of them, if they are real Fulanis, must have also passed through that dangerous stages in their life where they've come under attack from people who came to kill them and take their cows. But yet, the same powerful, supposed powerful Fulanis are those who are now encouraging that people should give up their lands in order to resettle the Fulanis that are killing and kidnapping people, or else there's nothing they can do about it. And therefore, a Fulani adder is entitled to carry AK-47 right before our very eyes. We're told that there's nothing wrong if they actually opened camps in our forests. And when people come out, at least those who make it out, when they come out to talk about their experiences and in the hands of kidnappers. And they point into our forest. That is where I was held for weeks until I paid this or paid that. And you are told you can't do anything about it by the people who actually doesn't. Then you are now threatening a region that has been growing our own food, building our own industries, building our own infrastructures. Before Uthman Danfodio will even think of waging a terrorism war on the Hausas as well as the indigenous people of where today you can call the northern Nigeria. People were already running things. Now here we are. Our farms have been attacked. A lot of our people have lost money. They have lost lives. A lot of them are in debt because all of their life investments going back to farm have all been destroyed by the group of people that cannot be touched. Our people are hungry today. They are paying so much for food that they have no idea where they are bringing the food from. And they have no idea when they are actually going to really leave. They are afraid to go to their farms. When they farm, they are afraid to go back there to even harvest their own crop. We are reading it in northern Nigeria where farmers are being beheaded because they are not paying taxes demanded from them by Fulani terrorists. In northern Nigeria, they have names of different Fulani terrorist leaders. They call them bandit leader. They have Boko Haram leaders. They are committing all these atrocities that are actually really attacking. And where people are taking actions, you are threatening them with food blockade again. Food where you no grow. Food that your people and your cows are destroying. Farms that they are destroying. The people the farmers that they are killing. So you think you still have control over their farm produce. So the middle belt people, brace up. Here is that clip where they have given Tifnubu 21 days. 21 days to give protection to their people in southern Nigeria. I mean, we have northerners who have different businesses. So many of them. They have been living in southern Nigeria for decades, including Igbo land. People know them. They know the people. Until the incursion of all these strange murderers that we are so sort of sad that Nigerians knows that there are Fulanis in Nigeria. There are Fulanis and we know where they are. We know what they do. But when these Fulanis that are carrying AK-47, killing our people, kidnapping them, collecting ransoms, when they started their acts, we were surprised and sad that those who knows that the Fulanis that we know, Fulanis in Sokoto, Fulanis in Borno, Fulanis in this their Sharia North, they are still there. How could Fulani from Jigawa, Yobe, and here and there be killing people in Ogun, in Olu, killing people in Bayelsa, killing people in Port Harcourt for their land? How does that even make any sense? Then we expected the real Fulanis in Nigeria to join the voice and stand up and say, listen, this is absolute madness. Make a demand that if under Boko Haram, something that will be done. Oh, how could you be like with your cows, ransacking people's farms, killing them? No, they decided to turn it into ethnic war. Instead of those who are Fulanis in Nigeria to stand up and say, listen, this is not going to be this is going to be an endless war. It is never going to bring any unity anywhere. They defended the Fulani terrorists. Some of them turned terrorists themselves because it was easier. You could make money. And their politicians, what were they doing? They were making laws to protect them. We saw all of that. Fulanis don't grow food to sell to anybody. Do you understand? You can keep your cows, great. How many people can even afford beef meat these days anyway? Where people are complaining that they can't afford frozen fish. You don't grow food, so you can't blockade food. Well, yeah, 21 days. I'll show you.
That our innocent brothers and sisters lost their lives and properties as a result of NSAS, IPOB/ESN, and Shasha Akinyele market killings. We have been pursuing this issue for over 2 years. Our effort in calming down our youths participated on our meeting in the villa with the Chief of Staff to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, under the leadership of His Excellency, Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State. That led to the suspension of no food supply on the promise that adequate compensation will be paid. Since that meeting, nothing has been done towards fulfilling the promises made 2 years down the line, and several reminders have been sent to the various authorities, and yet nothing to write home about. So we decided to organize this peaceful demonstration in order to show the federal government and the world our dissatisfaction over the way government are treating issues. And we are still calling on the attention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do justice to this matter, as failure to do anything on this issue we will have no option rather than to go back to the road and block every existing road leading to the southern part of the country. That is, we are doing the third no food supply to the entire 17 southern states. So as from today is 29th, 11/20/2023, we are giving the federal government an ultimatum of 21 working days. When we say 21 working days, excluding weekends, within which, if nothing is done, then it means we will have to embark on that no food supply strike. That one is going to be a strike. This one is a peaceful demonstration. We know that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Democrat and an administrator by excellence. So we are therefore optimistic that he will listen to the cry of the widows and the orphans of those of their own breadwinners that were innocently killed. Thank you and God bless you. Now, what we are saying is, in the IPOB, the NSAS, and the Shasha Akinyele market killings, that those things that happened, we lost gallant security agencies, policemen, soldiers, members of the secret police, that is the DSS, our marketers, women and youths. It is an open thing. Put together, we've lost over 300 people, lost over 273 vehicles, from open trucks to Sharons to saloon cars. This thing is known. We've presented this document to the federal government from the time of President Muhammadu Buhari, where we had a no food supply strike, that we block every existing road that lead between the northern Nigeria and other parts of Nigeria, that is the entire southern part of the country, for 4 days. And then President Buhari then directed Governor Yahaya Bello to meet with us, and we met. He led us to the villa where we met with the Chief of Staff to the then Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and 9 senior special advisors and assistants to the former President Muhammadu Buhari, where we demanded for compensation for 47 billion. And the President then, Muhammadu Buhari, through the Chief of Staff, approved 10%, which is 4.7 billion. This issue we took to the National Assembly under the leadership of then Senate President Ahmed Lawan, whom referred the matter to Ethics and Privileges Committee, and later legislated on it, and a bill was passed in that respect. And we are also aware, 3 weeks to handing over of President Muhammadu Buhari, he signed the bill for payment of compensation on that respected matter. before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in, we wrote to him informing him of these incidents and also the processes that we went through, the National Assembly passage of the law and the signing that the former President Muhammadu Buhari did. We were also reliably informed, as at that time President Bola Tinubu said he is an elected president-elect. He has not been sworn in, so he has no powers to execute anything. Now that he has taken over fully as the President and Commander-in-Chief, we've also written again to remind him that compensation is due for payment, because the families of those that lost their lives, from the security agencies to the marketers to those that are innocently trading in this 17th part southern state of Nigeria, the families are looking up to us and even beginning to think that the money has been paid to us and we refuse to give it to them. Hence the reason we have to take this action. First, to clear our name, because it is known all over the country that we have pursued this issue and the National Assembly have passed it and the former president has signed it. So we are calling on the president, the Democrat that he is an administrator, someone that listened. That was why Nigerians vote for him. And in fact, I make bold to say that Northerners made him the president, because we gave the massive vote that actually produced him as a president, rejecting our own, because we have two other candidates that are from the north, but we spent day and night reaching out to whoever that needed to listen or we have access to, and requests for support for him. And he was supported. In fact, part of us were directors in his campaign organization. That is to say that
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
I told you. But I'm glad that a lot of you could deduce that it's about money. And this guy, who has no possibly any real job, right? That guy who has no possible visible business, it doesn't appear like he's a farmer that grows food. I mean, I may not be very good observer, okay, but I think some of you could help me, please. So, people died and their trucks were burned during protests. And in order to make it sound as a powerful allegation, he quickly sneaked in IPOB in there. He said protest, NSAS, IPOB, ESN. He quickly sneaked all those in so as to make his statement sound like it's something reasonable, right? And they blockade food as a means of protest because they were supposed to be paid, or they demanded for 47 billion naira as compensation. So Bokwari approved 4.7. Now, let's do the math. According to the reports about 2 years ago, when they decided to threaten the drivers who are taking food down south, threatening them that anybody that try to cross from that Jeba to to Kwara Ilorin, anything that happened to your food, 1 second though.
Ó ti lé lọ́dún mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n sí tí mo ti ń sìn wọ́n bọ̀. Eléyìí tó jókòó lẹ́yìn mi Dàpọ̀. Ṣé wàá lè sọ pé òun lè di ìdádì gọ́fúnà tí ó bá ṣe mí?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
We'll come back to that. I forgot that once I make too much hand gesture, my screen is going to freeze. Like, I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, so I'm going to keep my hand to myself as much as possible, right? The food blockade lasted for about 5 days. So they threatened people who dare try to pass. Nigeria government, Nigeria security agents, and the rest of them, they looked away. So if you now have somebody's food who just bought a big trailer of vegetables, that's it. Everybody just got stuck between that border of Jeba, which is in Kwara and Loda, and every day they were calculating what those traders were losing.
Let's be poor. Breathe. Don't suffocate them. We have that responsibility.
Sorry. So they said daily they were losing over 1 billion naira. So for 5 days,